Welcome to No Place Like Home, where we're all about bringing you the best holiday experiences you can have right here in Ireland. It's our last show, lads, but sorry, can we just take a moment to check this place out? This is the Locker Heritage Centre in Limerick. It is absolutely stunning. It is such a magical place and so full of history. And the homebirds, for one I can see, have made themselves right at home. Good to see you, lads, and giving it socks as usual. Jesse, do you want to introduce us to the rest of the band?
Sure thing. My pleasure. My name is Jesse John Heffernan, ladies and gentlemen. We're called the Homebirds. Let me introduce the band to you. On guitar, Mr. Jay Corry. Jay Corry. On bass, Joe Furlong. Joe Furlong. Oh, sweet home, yeah. On keys, Theodore Byrne. On keys. On the drums, Beaker Kinder. On drums.
Nice one, lads. Now, later on, I'll be heading west to Mayo on the last leg of my travels with Ellie, and I'll be catching up with Eoghan Corry for all the latest travel updates. But first, we asked Pat Short to drive up the M7 and check out the staycation situation in Dublin. Now, he brought along his daughter Lily, and while she loved the idea of a visit to the capital with her dad, she's about to find out that her idea of a good time is definitely not the same as his.
I'll be glad. Your man Q's at you. He's out hunting cattle, that's it.
I'm going to start the day by bringing my daughter Lily to the one place where any self-respecting Tipperary man would go to, and I pilgrimage to most years.
Wow, it actually is unreal, isn't it?
Yeah, it's incredible. It must be mad coming out here on the day of a match, running out onto the pitch with the wall of sound.
Yeah, it's so nerve-wracking.
Oh.
And this is probably the closest I'll ever get to the changing rooms.
Where's Limerick?
Limerick is the green one.
I know it's the green one. There it is. Over here. This is my side.
That's your side. I'm looking,
Where's your side?
I'm looking for the tip one. Ah, sure, it's there. It's in the centre. Now, it's the now, there you go.
You've lived in Limerick for years.
Yeah.
You're still a Tipperary man?
Of course. Well, it's the thing about the GA, it's where you're born, where you come from. So I do have a big allegiance to Limerick, because you guys are all born there, and I've lived there longer than I have lived in Tipperary, but it doesn't matter. It's where you come from. That's great views.
Yeah, it is. It's lovely. It's really nice.
That's City Hall there.
You can see the spire from there.
That is so cool.
That is so cool.
Isn't it? This sounds ridiculous. It's very pointy looking. Oh my god.
I don't even want to go near it.
I didn't realise it was hanging over.
You getting scared?
No! That is incredible, isn't it?
Oh my god. I didn't realise I was scared of heights until I got up here. Oh my god, but it's so cool. Isn't it?
It's beautiful, yeah.
Go a bit closer, Dad.
Ah.
Go on, fast. Lean over a bit closer.
It's all right. Cool. That's incredible. Do you know your grandfather won an All-Ireland medal here?
Did he?
Yeah, he did. Minor medal 1949.
Oh, would you look? You're looking lovely. Gorgeous, Pat.
Thank you, Lily.
Gorgeous.
Thank you.
Ah, it was bound to happen. Beauty and the Beast time.
For a stroll through one of the most historic districts of the city, which is the Liberties. And they don't call it the Liberties because it had any great sense of liberty. They call it the Liberties because it was beyond the walls.
It's our first holiday after the lockdown, and he's taking me to see a wall.
Part of the wall, incredibly, survives even today. Hundreds of years later, it's still standing.
Donald, I can't bring my daughter to Dublin and show her a wall.
Well, some not going to work. Some would say you've seen one wall, you've seen them all.
It's really impressive, actually. I'm so glad my dad took me to Dublin to show me this wall. But to be fair, it is one of the original city walls.
I think I kind of know this area. Well, I think I do very well, because I would call the theatre district of Dublin. The Tivoli is around the corner, Vicar Street is down there, the Olympia is only over there. I worked in all the theatres, and I would have walked around this area. So I think I know Dublin, but I probably know nothing about it.
So the Liberties really take takes pride in its nickname, the Rebel Liberties. And look, when it comes to the rebels, there's one above them all, isn't there? Robert Emmet died in the cause of Irish freedom, the 20th of September 1803. What it doesn't tell you is that he was 25 years of age. Wow. They gathered here in their thousands, some say in their tens of thousands, to watch poor old Emmet's execution. The dogs licked the blood as it flowed through the streets.
So this is where he was executed.
Right here, you can nearly imagine the baying crowds, screaming for it. And Emmet, of course, the last man in Ireland sentenced to be hung, drawn, and quartered.
Oh my God.
We're going to head inside John's Lane Church.
I never got to see much of Dublin. Being around my dad most of the time, we'd be in theatres and backstage, so this is all new to me.
And look, when it comes to stained glass windows, they don't come more famous than the great Harry Clarke. But some of his greatest work, it's hidden in places like this, in churches like this. Absolutely stunning.
It is definitely very impressive. Like, you wouldn't even think that there's something in Dublin as impressive as this.
I think if we were on holidays in Rome or Italy or somewhere, we'd wander into a church and take in the beauty of the paintings and everything on the walls. Whereas we have it here in Dublin, it's incredible. And I'm walking past this church all my life. Never come in. But to appreciate work like this, you have to come inside to see the light coming through the window. That's where the beauty is, inside in the church. Sure, look, if a bit of religion rubs off on you. How bad?
The heart of St. Lawrence O'Toole, patron saint of Dublin, his dying wish that his heart be returned to his beloved Dublin. Died in France in 1180.
Heart attack.
So, come this way, folks. The tomb of Strongbow. Back in 1862, the old organ master had a little problem or two. Our most famous visitors, one chasing the other, they both got stuck in the second largest of the organ pipes. And as a result of the dry air pressure, they mummified naturally.
Wow.
That's crazy.
No father and daughter trip to the Big Smoke would be complete without a fine dining experience. And I might score a few brownie points here.
When the pimp's in the crib, Mom, drop it like it's hot.
That's Murdoch's, the oldest chipper in Dublin.
Yeah, I've never had it before.
Well, did you see the board outside by any chance?
Yeah. Right beside Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg, yeah. How cool is that?
Yeah, you love that, don't
I do love that, right?
Paddling their own canoe. And a fun fact, Pat Short and John Kenny had their office here at Lochgar for 16 years. So you could say this place was the birthplace of Dunbelievables. All right, it is time for my weekly park bench date with Eoghan Corry. And I think, Eoghan, they've saved the best bench to last.
Yep, this is the bench with the credentials.
Certainly is. Come here, great to see you. You've got news by way of update for Limerick.
King John's Castle, if it's due to close next week, it's open till the end of the year. Really great news. And Bunratty Folk Park, that's got the extra funding to stay open to the end of the year.
That's great.
King John's is a very special place, by the way. I've seen castles in lots of countries, but what King John's does best is it shows you how siege used to work, how they used to tunnel under the castle to try and get in, because the visitor centre brings you back to all those tunnels that were constructed. There's an adventure company as well, Catherine. They allow you to abseil outside of the walls of the castle nowadays, and it's a lot easier without the boiling oil.
Certainly is. What other news of Limerick?
Limerick changed the city around the last 2 decades. It's now facing down and celebrating the Shannon, the modern architecture. A couple of museums certainly worth looking at. The Hunt Museum. One of the original pieces of silver from the Bible is in the Hunt Museum. Now, even if that story doesn't check out, it's of the right age and the right vintage. And there are other things like Mary Queen of Scots, her cross. Lots of other things in the city. A sense of what we've discovered this summer is that very often a place in Ireland that we've been to maybe 10, 20 years ago, we think it's one and done, it's not worth going back, but so much has changed, so much has developed. Foynes has a terrific air museum. The flying boats that used to stop, this was the end of journeys in the 1930s. That's where you can visit a real flying boat, and this celebrates the golden age of the celebrities like Grace Kelly, the statesmen like JFK. Everyone had to stop in Limerick because that's as far as the planes used to fly at that stage.
Wow. You know what, it's great to hear all the good news, but we know that it has been a difficult time for the tourism industry. How do you think people themselves are coping?
It's been very, very difficult. A whole new set of regulations. They've been changing all the time. Whole new set of safety concerns. But the industry has done really well. And the customers have been very, very good. 1820, that's the number of businesses that have signed up for the Fáilte Ireland COVID safety scheme.
Wow.
You see the green sticker there.
Yeah.
It means the premises have been checked out. It means the staff have been all trained up to keep everybody safe. It's been a difficult time, but it's going to continue on until the autumn. Places are open, and in this new world, we're offering an awful lot of product which is perfectly safe. It's outdoors, it's adventure, it's all the things we should be looking to anyway before coronavirus arrived.
Absolutely. Well, listen, thanks for the updates as always. Great to see you, and look after yourself.
Always a pleasure, Catherine.
All right, join us after the break when Ellie and I climb into the camper van one last time as we head to the west of Ireland, and I also get a chance to catch up as well as catching a few waves with Key and Eoghan. See you in a few. To No Place Like Home. We're here in the historic setting of Lochgar Heritage Centre in Limerick, and even though it is only 20 minutes from the city centre, it's home to more than 4,000 years of Irish history. It really is worth a visit. Now, over the last couple of weeks, I have had the best time travelling around the country with Ellie. Our trusty camper van has taken us to Wexford, Waterford, Cork and Kerry, but for the last leg of our grand national tour, we climbed aboard and headed into the west. The west of Ireland, the rugged coastline, the wild Atlantic Way, the last stop before America, and if I may say, one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. I love it here, and I want Ellie to love it too, to treasure it because it is a treasure. Clare, Sligo, Donegal. Oh yes, and Mayo.
Oh, the green and red of Mayo, I can see it still.
Like loads of people, I have been to Sligo 100 times, same with Galway. And then you've got Mayo, big Mayo sitting in the middle of it all, which tends to get overlooked. And it's a bit like being picked last for the football team, although I've been told no mention of football in Mayo. Zip it. And not very many people travel to the corner in the north, tucked away in Erris. So that's where I'm heading to now, and I'm going to show you what you've been missing out on. This is Belmullet, a perfect place to base yourself for exploring North Mayo. 4 hours from Dublin and about an hour from Ballina. Here's another tractor. 15 minutes south of Belmullet is our home for the night, but the road has run out onto a beach. Driving the camper van is one thing. Driving the camper van on sand, I was not expecting, but it's compact enough, it seems. That's Clagan Island. We've only got a window here. Tide is in at 5, and once you're there, that's it. You better get going.
Look at us, we're driving on the beach.
Well, I can only assume you're the Howards. Yeah. So I'm in the right place. Clagan Island has been home to the Howard family for 4 generations. Belmullet Coast Guard Station is also part of the farm, and there are also 2 self-catering accommodation pods, along with lots and lots of animals. My hubby Porrig is proud of his Mayo roots, and so he's joined us on the last leg of our journey. Is that for breakfast in the morning? Yeah. I think the key to making a place like this a success is finding the balance. A product that people are going to love, and that's less is more.
We get a lot of feedback, oh, you could fill 10 more, why don't you have more? But like, you'd lose what you have if you did that. Just having 2 of them, it's special.
I have to say, I'm mightily impressed. I think the fact that the ceiling is so high makes it feel bigger than it is as well. Absolutely stunning, like just beautiful white sandy beaches, and the colour of the water is insane, all the different blues. We're going to jump in a boat, get out onto that water and go exploring. Sean Lavelle, along with his kids Josh and Kia, run boat tours from Blacksod Pier. It's the perfect way to explore this incredible coastline, but you'll have to source your own food. Now, hold on now. This way?
Just up this bit facing.
Oh, this way up. Ellie, those fish, they're dancing. Oh, there's some weight in that.
Oh, it's a big one.
We landed on Inishki Island, and while the boys set up the barbecue for the fish we caught, Kia shows me around. When did your great-great-grandfather move off here?
So they would have moved off in 1931.
Okay.
This was the school. It was opened in 1898. Before the school was built on the island, the children of Inniskeane were educated from home.
Do you love being a tour guide?
Yeah, I really enjoy it. I love telling people about the history that I know about the island.
Honestly, I'm blown away. I've been to the Aran Islands and I've been onto the Blaskets and Skelligs. This is on a par with them. Lads, I couldn't think of a better way to finish that day. Barbecued mackerel, caught by all of us, we should say. Okay, say cheers to the guys, Ellie.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Hearing I was in the area, an old friend got in touch and asked would I come visit him in Sligo. So we crossed the border in County for a day trip. You have it all under control.
How are we all?
You have it all under control.
Social distance and bump.
How you
How's
doing?
life?
Good, good.
Hi, buddy.
Look at the hair. Nobody needed a barber during lockdown.
No,
Nobody needed a barber during lockdown. So, Cian, living somewhere like this during lockdown must have been a bloody godsend.
When the lockdown came, everything closed, but obviously this remained the same. Me and my older boy Corry, we surfed practically every day, but in a weird way, you know, it was a special time that I don't think we'll ever get again.
Sure. This summer has been about creating memories for kids because a lot of people who never have holidayed in Ireland before are now making that choice.
Absolutely, like here in Ireland, like really when the sun is shining, there isn't anywhere better in the whole world. I mean,
She got to her feet a few times. She stood up, she went down. I'd say she was on the board for a good 5 to 10 seconds, so.
You did it. I did. It's like sometimes maybe things are better in your 40s.
Yeah, in your 20s. Life only starts at 40, Catherine. Come on.
I'm pretty impressed with that.
Yeah, it's good fun.
It was great fun. Thank you so much.
Very welcome.
The detour to Sligo was so worth it. Brilliant to catch up with Cian and the gang. I hadn't seen them in ages, and I didn't know Strandhill. So it's a brilliant family holiday spot. Loads for the kids to do. All the surf schools are open. It's back open for business as well. You can really feel that. Look. Memories are being made. And sure, is that not what it's all about?
I couldn't leave Mayo without a trip to one of my favourite places, Downpatrick Head. The perfect way to end the series.
So this is the walk that first blew my mind when I came up to Mayo 4 years ago. And it was as wet and wild a day as you get in the west of Ireland. But you know what? When I stand somewhere like this, like I feel calm and grounded and grateful, you know, and proud actually. Because this is Ireland, and I have done a fair amount of travel in my day, and I can honestly say, more so now having done the last couple of weeks on the road, we live in the most beautiful country in the world. Listen, I know it has been a tough few months for everyone and that there are more to come. And I feel so privileged to have had the opportunity to travel around this amazing country. I'm so grateful for that experience. To everyone who welcomed us on our travels, a massive thank you. But most of all, thanks to all of you for watching. And if you are heading back to school or back to work or just hanging on in there at home, take care of yourselves and each other. All right, lads, take it away.
Well, hope you got some great tips. That was the final in the current season. Music Memories up next here on 1.